think NVC is particularly important for these times. There's a number of challenges happening at so many different levels, and I think that NVC really gives us some skills for resilience. It allows us to self-connect. It allows us to deal with the unexpected, and it allows us to provide support when people around us are struggling with new or different realities.
Needs for me is the most central part of NVC. It's the pivot that everything is turning around. And I remember when I first got to know Marshall Rosenberg and learning NVC, how this concept of needs was new to me. That I have needs. And it's okay to have needs. And other people have needs. And even that it's okay to want my needs to be fulfilled. And the more I work with this, connecting to my own needs, connecting to other people's needs, the more I discover the beauty within and the resource that can change my life and change the world. This resource is available in every one of us. To listen for this life that wants to live through me. That's one of the core issues for me.
NVC has truly changed my whole life. When I started to study it in the middle of the 90s, I can't even remember who I was before that. It has made such a difference and brought so much meaning to my life. And with all the possibilities to different connections, different kind of connections, how much it has supported me to raise my children, how much it has supported in my relationships with my friends and my family members, and how important it has also been to contribute to other people's well-being by giving the trainings now for over 20 years, and for giving mediation trainings and also mediating people.
What are two experiences I had with NVC that made a difference? Well, I can think of many projects. One of them was here in Morocco, training social workers in different organizations that support women who are physically abused. And NVC has been a powerful tool to allow the social workers to welcome these women and acknowledge them in such a deep way with empathy and also inviting to personal responsibility. What was striking for me in this project is that I was able to see that the social workers had developed enemy images of the man, and in that way this has made them involved in the decisions that the women were able to make. So we worked on transforming the enemy images of the social workers, and this has led really more empowerment for the women. And even 2 years later, the NGO that I worked with opened its door to the men who were expressing themselves in such a tragic way. So for me, this is a beautiful way of seeing the power of NVC and transforming enemy images, allowing us to welcome all parties that are involved and to move away from the judgments that we can and the labeling that we can have, and allowing to create connections and really bringing deep change.
One of the things that NVC does is it allows us to express differences and come to a place of understanding, even if we're not fully aligned with the perspective and the desires of the people that we're sitting at the same table with. So I've brought NVC into some unique situations in Northern Canada, bringing First Nations, industry, environmental organizations, and government together to make challenging, complex decisions around the use of land. I've also had the opportunity to bring NVC into the way that I parent. And I've been able to radically shift from right-wrong, evaluative ways of parenting into deep listening, making requests, and looking after my own needs so that I can ground and center myself and keep showing up with curiosity and with a whole lot of compassion.
One of the areas where I most share NVC is with in business organizations, because I used to work in finance and had a previous career in finance before meeting NVC. And what I like about working with leaders, executives and managers, what with executives is the impact. Working with a team of executives or an executive of a company allows a large impact for the whole organization. And I very much appreciate when there is to bring this culture of cooperation, of teamwork, of collective intelligence, and really allowing people to learn how to take into account everyone's needs in the table and learn how to make requests. And what is very interesting for me in this setting is that it allows me to connect with men who will not, male managers and men in general, who are less likely to come to trainings than women. So it is a powerful way to engage with different populations as well, and people are also able to work with that not only in their teams and their organization, but also at home with their children and in their social spaces.
I am of course hoping that there will be many of us that will meet in Finland. And one of the reasons was just now, a few weeks ago I came back from Belgium, in which I was leading a 1-week retreat, which was the first retreat, in person, 1-week retreat, after 2 years, almost exactly 2 years, that I led. And I still remember this incredible excitement when all of us entered this room, our seminar room, and then we were just about to begin our first circle, like intro check-in circle, and there was just spontaneous ovation, like we were just like, yeah, we made it, we are actually going to have 1 week together, live, in person. It's just something that a few years ago seemed such a normal aspect of human life, and now with this COVID situation, not so much. So there is definitely this excitement in me that, wow, we will be together, community of living beings, exploring each other, exploring ourselves, exploring life, and this mystery that we call life. But mostly not staring into a screen, but just being together in the nature. So that's where my excitement is right now. I guess because of the lack I have been, or all of us, most of us have been collectively experiencing for the last couple of years. And I'm imagining that it might also be a very exciting event for you or for whoever will decide to come.
I remember a training I was part of giving in Nepal after the civil war. And one of the participants, a woman, said towards the end when we were looking for, what will you go home and do? What actions will you take now when you come home? And people offered different actions of mediation and helping the community. And she said, I will listen more to my 2 children, because I notice in these days here another way of connecting. And I see that what I have been doing, I've been telling my children what they have to do. They have to study, they have to do the homework. And because I'm a single mother raising them, they need to study hard. And now I'll go home and ask what their needs are and listen more to them. And this example for me is maybe the deepest revolutionary act I can imagine.